Welcome to the Pack Your Class Challenge! Oh my gosh, it's day 1 of this challenge. I am super excited to be here. Let me know if you're watching. Say hello, drop a hi, drop a like, give me a little dancing something. Let me know that you're joining us here. What we're going to do today is talk about how to get new students into your fitness classes. So if you're teaching Zumba or Aqua or Cycle or Yoga or Pilates or Les Mills or Clubber size or Soca size or Pound or what's the other one that does drums? I forgot the other one that does Drums Alive, right? Any one of these group fitness formats, if this is you want to grow your classes, you want to get new people in, today is the day to be here. We're going to start the Pack Your Class Challenge. It's going to be 3 days of all things how to grow your classes, starting with day 1, which is how to get new people. Also, if you're a personal trainer or a health coach or a nutrition coach and you want more clients, all of this applies to you as well. So how do you get new people in? Why have things not worked? What's working in 2025? All that jazz. So if you can see me, if you can hear me, drop a like, drop a hello. Let me know where you're watching this from. I'm coming to you from my house in Texas. Let me know where you're watching this from. So my name is Jessica. I help group fitness instructors just like you make money online so that you can pay the bills without having to teach more classes so that you don't burn out. One of the ways that we do that is by growing the classes that you currently have, which is what this challenge is all about. So it's gonna be a long training today, so make sure that you have pen and paper. It was so long that I actually had to remove one of the topics. I'll let you know in a second which one it is and what I'm gonna do about that. But do bring pen and paper if you have to leave because maybe you teach a class or you have to pick up your kids, or this is way at night or way too early in the morning, depending on your time zone. Don't worry, if you registered for this class, you're going to get the replay on your email so that you can continue watching just where you left off. Yes? Say replay, by the way, in the comments if you're watching this as a replay. I do want to know where you're watching this from, what part of the country, what part of the world you're in, because I love getting to know you guys. Okay, so we're actually going to cover 5 things that we're going to do today. So number 1, how to pack your classes in 2025. So we're going to go over what works and what doesn't work anymore. So if you feel that the things that you used to be doing to grow your classes are not working anymore, why? We're going to talk about that because it is 2025 and things have changed. We're also going to talk about how to stand out online so that people can see you, can connect with you, right? And you don't get lost in the billions of accounts that are online. Number 3, we're going to talk about how to post like a pro. So if you're a pro at teaching your classes, but not a pro at promoting your classes, we're going to change that, right? How do you become a pro at promoting your classes so that you're not only teaching a rock solid class, but you're also promoting the classes so you have people to teach too, yes? And where am I? Number 4, the simple 3-step system to take strangers and convert them into students. I'm going to go deep into that one because that's the most important one. And then finally, I'm going to tell you what the homework is so that you post your homework and you are eligible to get more points for those prizes. Yes! So there's lots of prizes to be won. I think this is a challenge that I've had the most prizes. So one lucky instructor is going to win a $50 gift card. All you have to do is, number 1, make sure that you're registered and I have your email, okay? And number 2, like, comment, and post. So like this post right now, that's a point. Comment on this post right now, that's a point. If you comment on the comment, that's a point. If somebody else made a comment and you like that comment, that's a point. If somebody else commented and you liked that comment and then you commented on the comment and then they commented back and then you commented on the comment, all of those are points, okay? So make sure that and it doesn't have to only be like my post. As you start posting is a point. So as you start posting and as other instructors start posting, I want to encourage you to connect, right? To like each other's things, to comment on each other's things. That's why I'm literally giving out prizes to incentivize you to do that. So there's going to be the instructor who comments the most, and I'm keeping track of everything, right? It's going to be the diva. And you're going to win a $50 gift card. The runner-up, so the instructor who engages second to most, will get a $25 gift card. And then everyone who engages is going to go into a raffle. And I'm going to select 3 people at random, and you're going to get a 50% discount on the Fitness Boss mentoring program, which is a huge deal. That's the program that's making instructors that make anywhere from $500 to $3,000 in their first 30 days, without posting, and then by mastering their marketing. So that's something that you definitely want to know. Okay, so let's move on. What you're going to learn in these next 3 days are things that helped me grow, go from my classes, grow from 4 people in my classes when a gym would give me a class, all the way to over 55. Now that took time. And if you read my story yesterday, right, whether it's through the email, and if you saw my story, I wanted to really make money with my classes. And one of the ways was, first I started teaching more classes. That didn't work out. So then I thought, I'm gonna grow my classes. So I went through this whole journey of how do you grow classes. I started interviewing a bunch of instructors from all over the world, instructors that were teaching my format. So I started out with Zumba. But I started interviewing instructors who taught other formats, and yoga and Pilates and boot camps and all of that. The instructors who had been teaching longer than I was, right? I was a newbie and they had been teaching for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I was interviewing instructors from all over the world, over in the UK, in Australia, in Canada. I got obsessed with all things, how do you grow your classes, right? Because I come from the dance world, ballet and jazz and hip hop, where I didn't have to grow my classes. And even when I was teaching as a ballet instructor, that was the studio's job to grow my class. I really didn't care how many people I had. I got paid regardless, right? But when I got into group fitness, that's not how it works. So I had no skills on how to grow your classes. Who has no skills on how to grow your classes? So anyway, I got super obsessed with it, and I started to notice that the instructors who had packed classes all have certain patterns, even though they didn't know each other, even though they were in different parts of the world, even though they were teaching different formats, they were all doing very similar things. And they are the instructors who were growing their classes. And that's where you're going to learn today. And that's what I learned how to do. And I started implementing that into my own promoting, not in my classes. And that's how my classes grew. They went from 4 to then 14 to then 25, all the way to over 50. And I got so good at promoting my classes that at some point, all of my classes were over 50. So not just one, or like the one with the nice schedule, all of them. And I was able to grow my classes without changing the schedule of my class, without changing the music, without making it more intense or less intense, or more hip-hoppy or less hip-hoppy, right? I didn't give out, I didn't have to lower my prices. I didn't have to change locations. I didn't have to do anything to my class. It was the same class. All I did was I got better at promoting. I promoted like a pro, and that brought people to my classes. So then when my classes started to grow, colleagues of mine and friends are like, how are you doing this? What's going on? And I was like, oh, I'm just, promoting. And they're like, but how? I'm like, I'm using Facebook to promote my classes. And they were like, well, but I'm using Facebook and my classes aren't growing. Like, my Facebook isn't doing what your Facebook is doing. You're doing something different with your Facebook. Who feels like you're already promoting, you're already posting, you're already doing it, but your Facebook is not doing what you want your Facebook to be doing? So my friends were like, teach us, right? Teach me how you are doing your Facebook, because we're doing Facebook and it's not growing classes. So I started teaching other fitness instructors how to grow their classes using Facebook as well. And then they started growing their classes, right? So for example, Autumn, she quadrupled her in-person strengthening class. She was in a military location. The military people overall, right, they're very private. So all of their Facebook and all that, it's very private. However, she didn't change anything about the class. All she did was learn how to promote the class, which are things that you're going to learn today, right? And her class doubled, then tripled, then quadrupled. Who would like to see your classes quadruple? That would be awesome. What would that do for your paying bills? Would that allow you to pay more bills? That would be cool. Jackie, she had virtual classes. So this is back when kind of COVID was new. And she was teaching virtual classes. She had a couple of people in there, but she really didn't know how to grow her classes. And by doing the things that you're going to learn today, she tripled her virtual classes, okay? So say triple in the comments if you would like to triple your classes. What would that do to you, right? Would that mean that you're helping more people? Would that mean that you're paying off a credit card? Does that mean that you're just like, okay, sushi money, right? Like, what would that mean if you could triple the amount of students that go to your class? And then Karen Rhodes, who here likes Karen? It was her birthday yesterday, by the way. Karen's one of my best friends. But Karen Rhodes, she moved from, North Carolina all the way to Florida. So she's starting in a brand new location, brand new state. She doesn't have students in this state because she's brand new, and she grew her classes from 4 all the way to 50 in just 30 days. Just 30 days, which is kind of record for anyone that I know, right? Why? Because she knows how, right? And you're gonna learn how. She knows how to, even if with a fresh start, she knew how to stand out online. She knew how to get attention online. She knew how to turn that attention into interest online, and she knows how to turn interest into students online. And you know who she learned that from? And you know who's gonna learn that today? So you're gonna get started on all of that today, which is why I'm so excited, so excited. Drop some fire emojis. Those are my favorite. Drop some fire emojis. Now, a couple of things. Number one, all of them, and me included, we all grew our classes. It was great. It was awesome. It all happened through Facebook. It all happened through post. However, it did not happen through a post. Okay? This is not a post. There is no such thing as a unicorn post. And I get this question all the time. Jessica, what can I post to grow my classes? I'm like, well, I can tell you what to post, but a post is not going to do all of this work for you. Okay? Posting, promoting, branding, as in constant, right? That's gonna be the thing that's going to help you grow your classes and make more money. So I want you to say in the comments, there is no unicorn post. Okay, there's no such thing as a thing that you're gonna post, and then 100 people are gonna like it and comment it, and then you're gonna get 50 people to register. That doesn't exist. It's a unicorn. Okay, promoting is a process. And you're going to learn this process. And Karen learned how to do this process really efficiently. And Autumn learned how to do this process very efficiently. And Jackie and me. And you're going to learn the behind the scenes of what this process is. Yes? Say yes or yes in the comments. So there's no unicorn post. Say that in the comments. I need to make sure that we're on the same page. Number two, some of these things that they learned on how, some of the things that it takes to actually grow their classes are a one-off type thing. Like we're going to talk about changing your name and changing your profile picture. Like some of these things like the cover. These are things that you kind of do one time and they're done, right? Settings, things like that. And those are really fun to go with because you just get it done once and that's it. And that helped them establish themselves, stand out, get seen, all of that. And that's part of how they grew their classes. Some of the things that they did to grow their classes were I have to do this every week type of thing, like posting, right? Posting is something that should happen every single week, not whenever you feel like it. So they learned how to post. They learned how often, where to post, what to post, what not to post, all that jazz and they kept doing that. They practiced that skill on a weekly basis, right? No unicorn post. This was several beautiful, awesome boss posts. And then another thing that they did is they learned how to do some of these things on a daily basis, like growing your network, right? So I want you to know that some of the stuff that we're going to talk about today is going to stretch you outside of your comfort zone. Maybe some of these things are going to be brand new and you're like, I never thought about that. Or, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't want to. Go with it, okay? Trust the process. This is what helped me grow my classes to 50. This is what helped Karen grow her classes to 50 in 30 days. This is what helped Jackie triple her classes. This is what helped Autumn quadruple her classes. And I've helped dozens and dozens of instructors do this over and over and over again. Okay, so trust the process. And it's going to be a couple of new things, and it's totally worth it. Okay, so how do you pack your classes in 2025? Now, I've been teaching for about 20 years. I started teaching like dance and ballet and all of that. But teaching fitness, I've been teaching fitness for about 10 years. And about 10 years ago, when I was a newbie at fitness and I didn't know how to grow my classes, I was asking people, right, instructors who had more experience than I did in the fitness world. And some of the things that they would say would be like, just be you.
You just focus on your class, just be you, word of mouth will spread, a friend will tell a friend, and that's how your class will grow. Who else either got that advice or gave that advice, right? It's actually good advice, okay? It's not bad advice, it's good advice. Because that's how instructors used to grow their classes. So if you started teaching, or if you were teaching back in the 80s or back in the 90s, you didn't need to know how to promote your classes, because just teaching your classes was enough, okay? But in 2025, it's not enough. So if you're being you and you're showing up and you're teaching your classes and you're rocking your classes, great, maybe you have 5 people or 10 people. It's not gonna give you the packed classes that it used to, right? Anybody else in this boat? So why is that happening, right? Why did it work before and it's not working now? And there's actually 4 reasons that have nothing to do with you, by the way, have nothing to do with your class or your capacity as an instructor or your music. It's nothing to do with you. One of the reasons is that there's just more formats out there. 10 years ago, there was about 50 formats: yoga, Pilates, Zumba, aerobics, right? Spinning, like all of these different formats. There were about 50 of them-ish total. I looked this up, okay? Do you know how many there are right now, 10 years later? Over 300 formats. That's a lot of formats. So if before your format, like let's say Zumba, was like, ooh, a Latin thing, and it was a novelty, now even the formats have more competition. The Zumba now has to compete with 299 other competitors, when it used to only have to compete with 49 other competitors, right? So there's way more formats. Another reason number 2, is that there's more group fitness instructors, right? With more formats and sub-formats, there's more fitness instructors getting licensed and certified. In fact, there's about 60% more instructors right now than there were 10 years ago. So if you've been feeling like, oh my God, there's instructors everywhere, how am I compete? How am I gonna stand out? Am I just imagining this? You're not, okay? There's literally 60% more people out there. So now students who maybe only went to you or only went to you and somebody else now have 60% more options, right? So it's not you, it's just there's more formats, more group fitness instructors. There's more gyms and studios opening as well. There's actually 40% more gyms and studio owner and like boutique studios than there was 10 years ago. So if before, right, you were maybe printing some flyers to promote your studio, that would be enough because there was just one gym and one studio in like the whole block. Now there's way more, right? There's way more. So the things that used to work just don't cut it anymore because there's more gyms. And reason number 4, we have the rise of the online era, right? Lots of people who would usually go to the in-person classes, either at a gym or a location or at a studio, are now choosing to do their fitness online. In fact, up to 30% of in-person students are now opting to do an online version. That's a $10 billion market, okay? $10 billion of people doing it. They'd rather pay for that to do that online than to go to a gym or do it in person with you. So for the group fitness instructors who are taking the My Fitness Boss mentoring program, right? I'm teaching them how to tap into those 10 billion, right? That's how I'm teaching them how to create these online programs so that they can make money online without having to teach more classes, because it's a growing market. So why is it that it's harder for you to grow your classes in 2025 than it was 10 or 20 years ago? It's because there's more competition, right? There's more formats, more group fitness instructors, more gyms, and now the online world is a whole other area of competition, which means that, you know, before you didn't have to promote, right? It wasn't a skill that we were talking about. It was like, I mean, if you printed flyers, it was like, ooh, fancy, you're printing flyers. But now, if you're not promoting, you're not growing. Say that with me. If I'm not promoting, I'm not growing. You not only need to promote, but you need to learn how to promote efficiently because there's lots of competition. So just posting or just printing out some flyers or just telling people about your thing, yes, it counts as promoting and it's better than nothing. So like, yay, hashtag small win. But how you're promoting is very important because you're competing. And the person who has the best brand, the one who stands out, the person who creates those connections and more efficient at creating those connections are going to be the persons that are going to get the students because they're going to get their attention. Okay. What you're trying to do with your promoting is to get people's attention. Yes. Okay. So what's not working anymore? Word of mouth. Word of mouth is still working, okay? It's still a good thing. We still want those people to tell their friends. So you still want to teach a good class. If you're not teaching a good class, it doesn't matter what you do. It's going to be very challenging to promote your class, okay? So I actually recommend that if this is your first year of teaching any format, don't mess with growing your classes and promoting and all of that. And this is a whole other realm. Focus on teaching a good class. Focus on showing up no matter what. Focus on memorizing your routines. Focus on building that confidence, right? Focus on connecting with your students, all that jazz for the first year. And then second year, you can start to kind of dip your toes into promoting and posting and all of that. So you do need to teach a good class. We still want to do word of mouth and we want that to happen. However, word of mouth is not going to be enough, okay? And where the place that word of mouth happens the best is now transferred. That now happens on social media. So it used to be that people would say, oh my God, you need to try this yoga class. It was awesome. And now what people do is that they speak about stuff on social media. So word of mouth still happens. It's just that it happens on a text message or on a social media post. Flyers, posters, and business cards. Those used to work great in the 90s. Okay. Nowadays, if you have them, it doesn't hurt you. You can continue having them. But any flyers and promotions, really, if you want to be seen, they're going to be online. It's going to be on social media. Okay. Static websites. In the 90s, it used to be that if you had a website, you were super fancy. Oh my God, what's your website? Ooh. Nowadays, people are much less impressed. Not only that, but they don't know that you have a website. So like you have to tell them to go to a website. But everybody knows to go to Facebook or to Instagram or to social media, right? They don't need to be told to go to these platforms. They're already there. Okay, so having a website, if you don't have a way to get traffic to that website, traffic means that you're telling people about the website. Otherwise, your website is in the unknown. I'm a mom, I have kids, frozen. Your website is kind of in the dark. Nobody can see it, right? Same thing with your virtual classes. Nobody can see that. Nobody knows. There's no traffic. Nobody's kind of seeing that. So websites with no traffic are pretty dead, okay? However, social media is constantly buzzing and you don't have to tell people to go on social media. They're already there. I think they spend like 4 or 5 hours a day on a platform. So like utilize that. If you are on social media, yay, but there's nothing special about you, right? If you're not standing out, then you're just going to become white noise. So you become one of the billions of accounts and there's nothing really to make you stand out. So you need to have the skill of standing out, which you're going to learn today. And if you're on social media, yay, but you're doing generic post. Generic means that this post could apply to anyone, right? It's like, if you want to lose weight, exercise and eat healthy. Well, we all kind of know that, right? Doing it is different, but like, it's very generic. Everybody, you're like, if you find a fun workout, go to Zumba. Well, it's pretty generic, right? So if you're doing posts that are generic, general, bland, vanilla, blah, again, you're not going to stand out. You're not going to create connection and you're going to become white noise and people are just going to scroll you by. You're not memorable and you're not recommendable. So people won't recommend you word of mouth to other people. Is this making sense? Yes or yes? So you need to stand out and then you need to stand out. You need to get attention. Once you have attention, you need to convert that attention into interest. Once you have people interested in your class, now you have to convert them into a student. It doesn't happen that you get attention, where you have a post or a reel or whatever, and then instantly they become a student. You're skipping steps, okay? We're skipping some steps. Do not skip steps. So where do you get attention? How do you stand out? And there's many social media platforms. Social media is definitely the place to be. All of the social media platforms work. If you want to do Facebook, that works. If you want to do Instagram tutorial classes, that works. If you want to do TikTok or YouTube or whichever one you choose, it's going to work. However, I vote for Facebook. And there's 3 reasons why. I believe Facebook is the best platform to promote your classes, to grow your classes, and to sell out your programs, fitness bosses. If you're doing an online program, to do that on Facebook, because Facebook has 2.9 billion users. It's still the biggest platform there is. So if you're very busy, if you're teaching 17 classes and you have 3 kids and you have to go in and out and you have a part-time job, you don't have time to be posting in 7 different locations. So more is not better. More is just more time consuming. And if you don't know how to stand out online, that's just more places that people can ignore you. So what I recommend is following the rule of 1. The rule of 1 is to choose one platform and then get good at that one. Get good at it, okay? So if you're gonna choose one platform, choose the biggest one, right? 2.9 billion users is way more people than, flyers. How many flyers can you give out? That's gonna be way more people than Instagram, way more than TikTok, is TikTok still alive? I don't know, I don't have TikTok, because Facebook is all I got. Okay, so on Facebook, there's 2.9 billion users. It's the largest platform here. Also, 55% of the users are over the age of 35. Instagram has a younger crowd. Instagram, only 30% of Instagram users are over the age of 35. Why does this matter? Because think about your classes, whichever format you teach, Aqua too. Think about all of your classes. Do you have 18 years old taking? Is the majority of your class filled with 18-year-olds? Is the majority of your class filled with 20-year-olds? For most formats, most of the people are going to be 35 or over. Yes, you might have a college student, right? Or during the summer, you might have 3 extra college students because they're there in the summer. But the majority of the people in your class are going to be over the age of 35, right? So if you want to grow your classes, you want to be in the place where people over 35 hang out, which is Facebook. Okay, 55% of users, half of users on Facebook, over than half, are over the age of 35, which means they are the most prone to go to your classes. So if you tell them about your class, they're much more likely to go. And then 60% of users on Facebook want to connect with friends and family, which means they don't want you to be spammy, which is great because you don't want to be spammy, okay? So if you're doing this on Facebook, we want to be very careful not to be spammy because people want to connect on Facebook. So half of all the users on Facebook are over the age of 35 and all of them want to connect. So that's what we want to focus on when we're here. Is this making sense? Say Facebook. Now, the group fitness instructors taking my Fitness Boss mentorship, we tap into all of that, right? We make sure that they're learning how to get attention, how to interact, and how to convert that attention very, very fast. So how do you stand out online? First, you have to rock your first impression, right? So first impressions are the best. First impressions are first impressions, and this is good. This is true online as well as it is in person, right? You always want to give a strong first impression. So if this is the first time that you're watching any of my videos, I put on makeup. I have lipstick. I did my hair so that your first impression of me is a positive one, right? Hopefully. You want to create that same first impression with the people who meet you online for the very first time. So if you want new students, well, you're going to have to be new to them as well. So you want to give a strong first impression. So we're going to talk about that. So we want to make sure that you have a strong first impression, and we want to make sure that you have an ongoing online presence. So how do you rock your first impression? First of all, do not be hiding behind a rock, okay? Very difficult to grow your classes if online you're hiding, okay? This is where you want to be, where people can see you and where people can connect with you online. This is, imagine that you're distributing flyers. We're back in the 90s, and you're distributing flyers, and your flyers are awesome. They're great. They're like knocking the first impression of the flyer, you're gonna rock it, okay? Except you're in an empty park. If you're in an empty park and you're giving out flyers to the 1 or 2 passers that are by, or you leave a stack of flyers there, is it likely that they're going to go to your classes? No. However, same flyers, same thing, but you go to a very busy mall. I said we were in the 90s, and the 90s malls were a big thing. So if you go to a very busy mall where there's lots of people coming in and you're like distributing your flyers, is it likely that somebody there will find interest in what it is that you're doing? Probably, because you're around where people are, right? So you want to be where the people are. On Facebook, online, your business page is the empty park. Your business page gets virtually no reach. People don't know that you have a business page. You have to tell them that you have a business page. And then when you tell them about a business page, they're way likelier to engage in a business page because they're kind of afraid that you're going to start being all spammy to them, okay? So posting in your business page does not give you reach, does not give you views, right? You're going to be very, very limited. And this is because Facebook actually demotes your post on your business page. So if you make this, and you can try this out, you can make the same post. Let's say that you're doing a promo for your classes and you make the promo on your business page. And then the next day, wait a day, okay? Don't do this immediately, but you wait 24 hours and you do the exact same post, not a share post, at the exact, like the same, copy paste the description and then use the same picture and post it on your profile, and then wait 24 hours and see which one has more engagement. Even the business page, who now has 48 hours of being out there, I promise you will have way less reach than your profile post that only had 24 hours. You're going to get a lot more views, more reach, more engagement, more connection through your personal profile than you will ever do with your business page, okay? And if by any chance you do get views on your business page and you're like, hey, hashtag small win, it's very unlikely that they will engage or they will convert. Because the way that business pages work is that they'll only show this post to the active users in the last 28 days. So that means that if you have 10,000 followers on your business page, but only 5 of them engage with you in the last 28 days, yeah, you're getting views or you're getting follows, but it's only to those 5. Okay, so business page, that's your empty park. Okay, so don't hide behind your rock, right? Don't hide behind, don't be where there's no people. If you want to rock your first impression, first of all, be where the people are, and that's going to be on your profile. And once on your profile, people can see you. And so that way you're where the people are, and open up the settings. Okay, open the settings to public so that people can connect with you. It's very frustrating when a student or a prospective student finds you interesting, you caught their attention somehow, and then they come to your profile and they can't click on anything. They can't friend you, they can't like you, they can't comment on anything because everything is closed because I only want friends to look at my stuff. Well, okay, but then how are you growing your classes? If you're using some other marketing tool, then great. But if Facebook is the only tool that you're using to grow your classes, you need to be doing it from your profile and with open settings, okay? If any of this makes you uncomfortable, send me a message or just say uncomfortable and we'll talk through some of the things. You don't have to do everything at once. There's ways to kind of do baby steps into this. Okay, so you don't want to rock your first impression, do not hide behind a rock. To rock your first impression, do not be a secret agent either. So secret agent is when either you're only posting about your classes on your business page because you want to keep everything separate. That doesn't work, okay? So then people who land on your profile, which is going to be most people, don't even know that you're teaching a class because it's over here where we can't see you, okay? And if you don't have a business page, which you don't need one, if you have one, it doesn't hurt to have one, just don't post on it often because people won't see it. But if you are posting on your profile, yay, but you're never posting about your classes because you're too afraid, you don't want to be spammy or bother your friends and family, we'll talk about that, then how are people to know that you have a class? And if you're posting about your classes on the marketplace or let's say in a Facebook group and you're like, well, I don't want to post about my stuff on my profile, but I will post about my Zumba class, over here in this group. Great. You know what people do when you post over there? They see that. And let's pretend that that was a really well done post and it got people's attention. They're viewing it and they're clicking on it. They don't know anything about you, right? This is the first time that they meet you. So the first thing that they're going to do is check you out, because that's the normal thing that people do. You probably did that to me at some point, okay? And the way to check you out is they're going to click on your name, right? See who this person is. And when they click on your name, it doesn't take them to your business page. It doesn't take them to your website. It takes them directly to your profile. That's why you get views on your profile, okay? So don't be spammy. How not to be spammy? So what makes a person spammy, talking about your classes or posting about your classes is not spammy. Talking or posting only about your classes is spammy. So if you're a secret agent, right? You don't want to post anything because you don't want to bother friends and family, but then you're a secret agent group fitness instructor because nobody knows that you're an instructor, right? Sprinkle it. You don't have to make 500 million posts, just a little tiny sprinkle to let people know what you do, right? They're seeing your cat post and your family post and your friends and family are relating to that. Great. Sprinkle a little bit of fitness in there, okay? Not a lot, just a little sprinkle to balance things out so that when you're promoting your classes, somebody lands on your profile, they can see that, oh yeah, you are in fact legit, okay? So I wanna make sure you're legit. Now, the opposite is also true, right? If you want to rock your first impression, don't hide behind your rock. Don't become a secret agent and keep everything separate and we can't even know. And also, don't be a spammy Sally, okay? Spammy Sammy, there we go. Spammy Sammy is when the only thing that you're talking about is about your fitness or your formats, right? So that means that every single post is a schedule, come to class, it's only about your classes, and not just that, but your name. I see this with Zumba people all the time. A little bit with yoga people. It's like Jessica Zumba, Jessica Zen, Zen Jessica. Join my Zumba classes with Jessica. Like that's the name, right? So you have the format in your name. In the profile picture, you have the format in the profile picture. In your cover, you have like the format in your cover. And then every single post is about your classes and your format. That's a lot, okay? That is a lot. And what that does is that instead of attracting people who like this format, it detracts people because you come off as being too spammy. Now you're being annoying. Your friends and family can't connect with you because they're not that into the format. So they're like, right? So now you're being annoying. So opposite is true. So you don't have to stop talking about your classes, keep talking about your classes, but sprinkle a little personal stuff. You went out with the girls, okay? Your cat. You went out for date night. Messy dishes. Sprinkle in something that's not fitness related so that people can get to know who you are. We want to balance, right, in your content, posts that let people know who you are. You're a mom. You're a cat owner. You love sushi. Right? You're into wine, you like heels, like, I don't know, those are things that are about me, but we want to know more about you, right? So these are non-fitness related things so that we get to know who you are as well as what you do, right? You're a fitness instructor, you're a business coach, right? You're a nutrition specialist. We want to know what you do as well. If you do too much of one, too personal, we don't even know that you have classes and how will you grow them. If you go too much into the business side, you become too spammy and it scares people away, okay? The Group Fitness Instructors taking my Fitness Boss mentorship program. We create online programs, so that's how they're making money without having to teach more classes. And not only that, but they're learning how to master their marketing as well. So I make sure that they can grow their classes and their programs at the same time. So they're using the same vehicle, right? Facebook. They're using the same strategies and they're growing their income by getting clients through their online classes, through their online programs, as well as growing their classes using the same marketing. So that's why they're so efficient. Okay, so to stand out online, you need to rock your first impression. And I forgot to teach you. I got a little quick, did you want a pro tip on what you can do right now to rock your first impression? So when you're posting, right, and whether you're promoting your classes or just talking about your cat, if people want to know more about you, they're going to click on your name. So we want to make sure that to stand out, you have the right name and the right profile picture. So look at your name. And your name, you want to keep it simple. This is what you're going to have in your name. Your first name and your last name. That's it. No formats, no Zen, I don't know, other no company names, no nicknames, okay? Just first name, last name. That's it. Look at mine. Jessica Hogan, okay? Simple. Why? Because if the first interaction that people have with you, right, the very first thing, and you're already telling them about something you want them to do, join my class, come to my format, immediately, right? Even with their first impression, they're like, okay, this is a little bit too much. We don't want to do that, right? On Facebook, you want to be friendly, okay? And to be friendly, that means that you should be interested in the people because they're people. Just because of that, not because they could come to your class, but just because they're people, okay? So be a person first. Be yourself first. I'm Jessica first. And then, hey, by the way, would you like to go to classes? Would you like to make more money? Do you have a Facebook group? Sure, that is going to come. But first, I'm just Jessica, right? And how are you? Where are you from? How many kids you have? What have you been teaching? I love teaching classes. Oh my God, you too. Right? First, we're just humans. Just connect on a human level first, all the time. So make sure that your name is nice and simple, your first name and your last name. And same thing for your profile picture, right? Just like the name is their first impression, your profile picture is the first visual impression that they have of you. And if in your visual impression you have all the wrong things, it's going to send the wrong message, right? So what are some of the wrong things? Or, well, what do you want to have in your profile picture? In your profile picture, you want to make sure that it's you and just you, okay? Not you and your cat, not you and your daughters, not you and your sister, not you and your students, not you and the pro, oh my gosh, she went to the convention. No, just you. Because you want your prospective students to memorize your name and memorize your face. We want to put our name out there, right? Who's ever said that? I want to put my name out there. I want to put my face out there. Well, do that, right? Put your name and only your name out there. Put your face and only your face out there. You want to brand your face, okay? On social media, logos do not work. If you have a great logo, awesome. I have an awesome logo, which none of you have probably seen because you only see it when you enroll in my Fitness Boss program. Then you see it all the time in all my videos, right? A logo doesn't do anything on social media. Your face is your logo. Say that. My face is my logo. Your face is your logo on Facebook. So make sure that in your profile picture, it's just your face. It's around shoulder to like top. So that way it's not like your eyes, but you're not too far away. Okay, shoulder to height. Because we want to see your eyes and we want to see your smile. Make sure that you're smiling. Make sure that we can see some teeth. Make sure that you're not wearing glasses. You're not doing a weird face. Like we really just want to see your face. And if you can, make sure that your background is clean. So for example, if I take a picture right now, there's a lot of stuff behind me. That's a messy background. So the easiest way to do that is to just take a selfie anywhere and then use an app to remove the background. And then you can put any color you want behind you. And that's it. And you don't have to change your profile picture ever again. I think I've had mine for like 4 years. Like, it doesn't matter. Actually, the more you have it, the better because people will start to remember your profile picture. And now we'll start to remember you. And they'll start to recommend, if you're doing a good job with your content, they'll start to recommend you. Okay? So, pro tips right there. So how to stand out, rock your first impression, make sure that your name and your profile picture are on point. Number 2, have an ongoing online presence. So this means no booty calls, okay? Booty calls is the whole, only posting when you want them to do something. You're asking for something. You're asking them to come to a class. You're asking them to not come to a class because it's canceled and it's raining. You're asking them to click a link. You're asking them to register for your class. You're asking, and you're never giving. It's an unfair transaction. It's an unfair situation, which is why it scares people away. So for example, right now, I'm not asking you to enroll to my programs. I'm giving you as much knowledge as I can in a Facebook Live. I am giving, right? So if you are only taking, right, just a booty call, I want more students, come to my classes, it's not gonna work, right? Even if you do have an ongoing online presence, it's the wrong type of presence. presents. And number two, only posting when you feel like it. So go back to when before you were a fitness instructor and you were just a student in any of the formats, right? When going to class was a fun thing, right? That was something you would do for fun. And because it was a fun thing, sometimes you would be a little bit late. Sometimes you'd have to leave a little early. Sometimes you'd skip class. If you're not feeling too well, you might go to class, but do it so-so. Sometimes you just didn't feel like it, so you didn't go. And it's fine. You're a student. This is your fun thing. No problem. But once you became a fitness instructor and you became a pro, you show up no matter what. You don't feel like it, you show up. It's cold, you show up. You have a headache, you show up. You can't because you're out of town, you get a sub to show up, right? Somebody's teaching that class, okay? Because you're a professional, you start teaching on a schedule. So if you are using Facebook for fun, right? Maybe you promote your classes sometimes, I really don't care, and you just want to see cat pictures or recipes. That's great. That's awesome. You can post whatever you want, whenever you want, wherever you want, on your business page, on your profile, on stories, doesn't matter. Facebook is your fun thing, right? But if Facebook is your pro tool, this is how you're going to grow your classes, then you need to treat Facebook with the same professionalism that you teach your classes, right? So if you teach like a pro, no matter what, and you show up every Wednesdays at 5, right? Then you want to promote your classes like a pro. Yes or yes? So how do you promote your classes like a pro? All right, so first we need to stand out. Make sure that you're rocking your first impression by not hiding, not being a spammy Sally, posting on your profile, and making sure that your profile is open so people can connect with you. Then you want to post like a pro. That means posting on a schedule. Ah! Think about your classes as well, right? So you're promoting your classes as an extension of you teaching your classes, okay? These are not two separate things. It's an extension of. If you want to teach your classes, you need to know how to promote your classes. So you have people to teach your classes too. So it's the same thing. And if you're professional at teaching your classes, then you want to become a professional over here. Now, to become a fitness instructor, you had to learn how to become an instructor. And then you had to practice the things that you learned. Same thing for promoting classes. Right now, you're learning some of these things, and I want you to practice these things, okay? So posting on a schedule, think about the way that you approach your classes. You're not teaching your classes sometimes on Wednesdays and sometimes on Thursdays. You're not teaching your classes sometimes at 5 p.m., sometimes at 6. No, you teach your classes Wednesdays at 5 p.m., every Wednesday at 5 p.m., right? You teach on a schedule, whether you feel like it or not. Whether you're feeling inspired or not, whether you have a headache or not, you're teaching at that time no matter what. So post like a pro in the same way. Have a schedule, okay? Make it the same date and same date and time always. So maybe it's always Mondays at 9 a.m. That's when you post. Every Monday at 9 a.m. No matter what. You don't feel like it? Post anyway. You're not inspired? Post anyway. You feel super inspired? Go post it. You have a class to promote. Go post it. You don't have a class to promote because you're sick or you're out of town. Still post. Mondays, 9 a.m. That's your posting time, right? So post like a pro, stick to a schedule. This challenge, right? It's a 3-day challenge and I posted it everywhere. When am I going to go live? Every day at 1 p.m. Why? Because I'm a professional. Right? And it's not just me. I want you to become a money-making fitness boss. That means becoming a professional at promoting. Yes, promoting. So post on a schedule. And then number 2, you want to stick with the 50-50 content rule. This is how you avoid being spammy. Okay? So remember, posting about your classes is not spammy. Posting only about your classes is spammy. So how do we not become spammy and not become annoying? Is by not doing any of the booty calls, right? Not being a spammy Sammy, and using the 50-50 rule. That means that 50% of your posts are about fitness. So yes, your schedules or classes canceled or a promo or a reel or a group picture, whatever you want, right? Yes, post about your classes. And then 50% is not about your classes. Those are your personal posts. This is your family time, your pet time, your cat, a quote, girls' night out, cute fashion pictures. Oh my God, I love this wine. Birthdays, anniversaries, like just things out. It's the you behind the instructor, right? Because if we have that 50-50 balance, then you're not spammy. You're also not a secret agent. We can see who you are, right? You're somebody that like has a family. You're somebody who lives alone with their cat and you're obsessed with their cat. You're somebody who loves the outdoors. You're somebody who hates the outdoors. Like we get to know a little bit more about your personality, your life, right? And you get to share what you feel comfortable sharing. Okay? So if you don't feel comfortable posting about your kids, don't post about your kids. Post about your food, right? Just post about something that is not fitness related so we get to know a little bit more about you and your personality and then balance that out by posting about your fitness, right? You help people get healthy. You help people lose weight. You help people get fit. You help people, get happy or have less stress or relax or unwind, right? Tell us what it is that you do. It's fine. As long as you do a 50-50, you're not spammy. Yes or yes? So we want balance. That's what we're looking for, balance. And if you're posting like a pro on a schedule, then you should schedule at least 2 posts per week. 1 post to be your fitness post and 1 post to be your personal post, right? And you make those posts every day at the same time. So let's say Monday is your business post, your fitness post, and then Fridays is your, personal post. And you post religiously every Monday and every Friday, right? At 1 p.m. or 9 a.m. or whenever it is that you want. Now, in my Fitness Boss mentorship program, what I do is I give my clients, I give my instructors full templates. We call these the boss posts, right? These are your boss type posts. And I give them templates of how to post, what to say, they fill in the blank. And I provide monthly posting calendars so they never run out of ideas of what to post in a way that's going to be not spammy, balanced, and attracts the right people. Okay, so now that you know, right, how to stand out by rocking your first impression and how to post like a pro by posting on your profile on a schedule with the 50-50 balance, how do you grow your classes, right? This is a 3-step system and it's very, very simple. First, you need to get attention. We're going to talk about that right now. Once you have attention, they don't register right away. You're skipping steps. Do not skip steps. The next step after getting attention is you want to create interest. Once you get attention, you want to convert that attention. It's like, hey, for example, reels are really good to get attention. Here's attention. And then you want to figure out who's interested from the people who got attention, who's interested in a yoga class, right? You want to convert that attention into interest. That's a different skill. We're going to talk about that. That's going to be step 2. And then once you have people saying, I want more information on your yoga class, great how you turn that interest into a student, okay? So remember, promoting is a process. It's a 3-step process. Get attention, get interest, get a student, but it's still a process. What happens with a lot of your fitness instructors is that they feel frustrated because they want to make this unicorn post and have everyone just click the link and join their classes. And does that happen? Sometimes. Does that happen often? No, not really. But if you do the system of first getting attention and then getting interest and then getting them to register, you'll have much more success than if you just post and hope they click the link, okay? So how do you get attention? So step number 1, how do you get attention? So first we need to figure out attention from who, okay? And this is something that instructors completely miss. So this is a very important behind the scenes because instructors miss this one all the time. And this is why their posts completely flop. Even if they're posting on a schedule, even if their reel got a whole bunch of views, even if, they did a really cool promo, it's flopping because of this, because it doesn't have a who this is for. So if you're saying that you want your post to reach anyone, or you want your post to reach everyone, or you want your post to reach people, right? We need to switch that because it's very difficult to create marketing material and promotional material for everyone. And when you're trying to reach everyone, you end up reaching no one, okay? Being general, being generic, being like this open blanket doesn't get you attention, okay? Because nobody feels identified with that. it's like, oh, she's probably talking to you. She's probably talking to you. She's not talking about me, right? Nobody, you're not pointing out anyone in particular. So then everyone is like, oh, that's not for me. Think of it as making a party. If you want to create a party, right, like you're like, I want everyone to come to my party, and you invite your students who are like very like woo-hoo, upbeat people, and then you also invite your Latina friends because you're Mexican and they're Mexican, and you know they're all like Spanish speaking, but your students are English speaking, but everyone wants to come to the party. And then you also invite your neighbors who have nothing to do with any of these, but they're your neighbors. You're going to invite your neighbors, and you're also going to invite the book club because they're your girls, right? They're your girls from your book club. And you're also going to invite your office buddies because why not? Everyone to the party. And what happens is that if people go to the party, right, which is hard to promote because it's like, okay, what's the party about? You're going to be stretched too thin because your fitness people will want to want the music upbeat and over here. Your Spanish speakers are not speaking English. Your English ones, they're not connected. Your book club is annoyed. The music is too loud. They're more introverted. So like this is making them very uncomfortable. Your neighbors and your office people don't really have anything in common with any of them. So they're kind of just like being in a corner, just not really, watching their clock. And it's going to bomb, right? And you are going to be running everywhere trying to please everyone because everyone has different likes, right? And different approaches to things. But if you create a party just for your students, we're going to teach class, and then for Christmas, we're going to go over here, we're going to have a party. And now you can keep the music upbeat, and you know exactly what your students want, you all talk English and all that. Awesome. Then you make another party for your Latinas, and you're all speaking Spanish and using Latin music. Great. And then you do a small little get together for your book club because they like to kind of keep it quiet, and you do like a brunch for your book club. Now everybody's happy, and it's easy for you to be able to serve each one of these people because you know who is coming and what they like. Yes, I just went to one of my friends. She did a Galentine party. Never been to a Galentine. I hadn't even heard about this, or has anybody heard about this Galentine? That was a new thing for me. But anyway, she invited all the girls. It was like a Valentine's for gals, right? For an all-girl Valentine. And she invited all the girls, and she really went all out with the thing. She has all these decorations, and we played games and bingo and all of that. And what's curious, and what I found curious, is that as I'm talking to my friends, we're all Latinas, by the way, we're all Mexican, and so we're all talking Spanish. There's like Latin music in the background because it's all the same crowd. And we were sharing our husbands' views on this party. And overall, our husbands were very confused about this. They're like, what? Why? All girls. And then we were all in like matching pajamas. And I'm like, that's stupid. Why do you look like that? That's silly. And I'm like, it's okay. It's not for you. You don't get it. That's okay. We had a blast. We loved dressing up. We loved the whole thing, right? So when you're trying to post, it's important that you know who to post for so that you attract that type of person, right? If you're posting to everyone, you're not going to reach everyone. And then the people who reach, they're going to be like all over the place, and you're not going to appeal. You're not going to get to the attention of any one of those because they all require different types of attention. So we need to focus on who is it that you want to attract. So the way that I call it, I call this person the diva. Say diva in the comments, okay? Diva. Think about your classes and think about your first row diva. Who is that person, right? So if you're teaching an aqua class, this might be your person over 55. If you're teaching a dance cardio class, this might be a stay-at-home mom. If you're teaching the strength class, those people are very intense. They typically are early birds, right? They wake up like at 5:30 in the morning and they go do a very intense workout, right? So it's different people. So if you're going to make a post to get attention, whose attention do you want to have? Do you want to have the attention of the 55-year-olds and older because you're going to do an aqua class? Or do you want the attention of the stay-at-home moms because they're going to go to your 9:45 Zumba class? Or do you want the attention of the 5:30 early birds who are very intense, who are going to be, spinning and strength classing? Right? Whose attention do you want? Because what you say in your post needs to relate to them, not to anyone who wants to work out. No, that's not going to attract any of them. It's like, oh, well, that covers everyone. Yeah, they're all going to, what they're going to do is all of them are going to ignore your post. But if you say ladies over 55, or if you're like stay-at-home moms, or if you're like, you know, early birds who's waking up at 4:45 tomorrow, then that group of people are going to perk up and like, oh, I have kids, right? Or I'm a busy mom, or I'm a stay-at-home mom, or I'm over 55, or, you know, I wake up at 4. A group of people are going to perk up. So we want to make sure that your post is specific to your diva. If you don't know who your diva is, we need to have a conversation. For the instructors taking the Fitness Boss program, we go through, and there's a whole module of market research that we go so that you understand who you're trying to attract, what do they want, what their struggles are, what their goals, so that when you're posting, right, it directly attracts them. So if you want to grow your classes with busy moms, well, how do you attract busy moms? By talking about stuff that busy moms care about. Well, what is that stuff? Well, we need to find out. So then we do a whole market research about that, right? So we want to make sure that when you're posting to get attention, you're posting and you have a diva, you're posting to a person, and you're posting to, there's 2 types of temperatures. There's new audience, and then there's new divas, right? And then there's current divas. So when you're on Facebook, you're actually exposed to 2 different types of people. People who have never met you ever before. We call these new people, right? And those are the ones that we want to attract today. And then there's people who do know you. Either they like you, they're followers, they are friend requests, or they just saw you, or they're your current students, or past students, or friends and family, right? They're your current divas. They know of your existence, okay? When you want to post to get attention, you need to decide, right, if this post is specifically for the people who already know you, your current divas, or for the people who don't know you, who are your new divas. Yes? So tomorrow we're going to talk about the current divas, so how to get people to come back. That's going to be a different type of post. Today we're going to talk about how to get attention from who. We need new people who have never met you. Who are your divas? So if your divas are stay-at-home moms, those are the people that you want to attract to your 9:45 class, then we need to make sure that you're posting something relatable to women, right, who stay-at-home moms that never met you, that are new. Good so far? Okay. So even before you create a post, who is this post for, okay? So how do you get attention of new divas? There's 2 ways to do this. One is with Reels. Reels are really coming forward, so you're going to see me do way more Reels right after this challenge. I've been busy putting this challenge together, but after this challenge, you're really going to see me push Reels and post in Marketplace or groups. So the same rule applies to both, okay? So if you're posting your Reels, post on your profile, because that's where you get the most views, and you can also post Reels in groups and things like that. But the format that's really helping is Reels. Reels are great to get attention, not registrations. Okay, we're in step 1. You just need to get attention. So this is where a lot of instructors feel frustrated because they make a reel, it gets attention, it gets 1,000 views, but no students. Who's had a similar situation? Maybe not 1,000 views, but maybe you got 100 views or 50 views. And you're like, oh my God, 50 people saw your thing and 0 signed up. Who's been in that situation? So if you've had that experience, that is a normal experience. Reels are not there to create a conversion. Reels are designed to get new views, aka to get attention. So let's use Reels to get attention, not to get a registration. Okay, that's step number 3. We're in step 1. Nicole is saying yes, love it. So in your Reels, want to get attention. We don't want to get registration. So what should your reel be? It can be you dancing, right? It doesn't have to be a video of you in your class teaching. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. If you can't do that or your students don't feel comfortable, it doesn't have to be, okay? But it can be you doing your thing, whether it's dancing, right? If you're in the cardio dance formats, it can be lifting if you're a personal trainer, or if you're in strength formats, or it can be like stretching if you're in like the yoga and Pilates and things like that. So whatever your format is, it can be a video of you doing the format, and it can be just you by yourself. It can also be a class video if you want to, but it's not required. It can also be you just pointing, right? And then you do like the little like tip here, you know, and like it can be just you pointing. Or it can be what we call B-roll, which is you doing something kind of behind the scenes, You've probably seen this where people are just like drinking water and then the thing is like, there's words there. That's called B-roll, okay? So that's the type of reel that you can do. And what you want to avoid doing in these reels is do not post about your schedule. No posting about your schedule in reels. Mondays at 5, nope. Here's my weekly schedule, nope. Not on a reel. You can do that on a post on your profile, fine, but not on a reel, because on a reel, we're trying to get new people. New people just met you. They're kind of deciding whether they like you or not. They definitely don't care when you teach. They're not there yet. Right? They're barely deciding whether they vibe with you or not. So don't give that to them. Okay, focus on getting attention and being likable. Okay, they need to know, like, and trust you in order to register with you. If they don't know you, if they don't know that you exist, they can't register for your class. If they see you through like a reel, right? Okay, well, they first need to like you to make sure that they move forward and they start to like get to know you more enough to they trust you. They trust you once they start communicating with you or binge watching you enough that they feel like that they know you, and then they'll register. Process. Yes, it's a process. If you see somebody make a really cool post and they're like, oh my God, I made $10,000 from this post, or, you know, I got 10 people from this post, 100% of the time, A, that post was a good post to get attention. They knew who their market was, so they did all the behind the scenes works. And B, the system after they post, they have a good system, okay? So it's not just a post. There's things that are happening behind the scenes before they post, and there's things that are happening after they post, also behind the scenes, that you're not seeing, which is why you're missing it. But you're learning it now. Okay, so when you post a reel, no schedules, no prices, and no links. No links on the reel, no links on like the description of the reel either. Because our goal is not to get a registration. You're asking them to do something when you just met them. Like, no, okay? Give value first. What you do want to post about, like in the description, whether it's in the reel or in the description of the reel, is the what, the why, the why, and the how. Okay? The what, the why, and the how. What is it that they're going to gain from this situation? Why does that matter to them, right? And how can they get more information? That's really what your reel should do. Same thing goes for a post. If you're doing a post in, like, say, Marketplace or a Facebook group, okay? Same rules apply. You want to make a post in groups. Reels don't work as well in groups, and in groups it can be either a picture, right? A picture of you, not of your class, like just like a picture of you in full fitness mode, because this is fitness, or an engagement post. An engagement post is one of those posts that have no pictures, no videos. I do those like once or twice a month, where it's just like pink background and letters, or like black background and letters. You can choose your whatever background, but that's called an engagement post. Those also do really well in like Marketplace and groups. But if you're doing a post inside of those, same thing, okay? No schedules, no prices, and no links. The job of that post is just to get attention from new people. So we don't want to overwhelm them with schedules if they don't even know whether this class is good for them or not. We don't want to overwhelm them with prices if they don't even know if it's worth it their time to go to this. And we don't want to overwhelm them with links if they're not even sure who you are and what you do, okay? So we don't want to overwhelm them. All we want them to do is to notice us, okay? We want to get attention. So for example, if you're teaching yoga, you can make a post that says, want to unwind. If work has stressed you out, then you need a moment to just take a breath, come join this yoga class, right? And then it's a reel of you, like, doing one of the yoga things. Easy, simple. So what is it that they want? Unwind. Why do they want to unwind? Because they've been stressed out at the office all day long. Who are they trying to attract? People who are stuck in the office all day long, who need to unwind, right? How are they going to get to your class? They're going to, we'll talk about that one in the next one. But anyway, so that would be an example of a yoga class. If you're doing a cardio class like Zumba or Lamels or things like that, you can say something like, ready to get your heart pumping, or do you want to burn some calories, or let's, let loose. Like, what is it that they are going to gain from that class? Okay, you always need to put it in the perspective of them. Do they want to lose weight? Do they want to get strong? Do they want to burn calories? Do they want to unwind? Do they want to get fit? Do they want to get healthy? Do they want to feel sexy? Do they want to gain confidence? Do they want to boost it? All of those things. Not come to my class. It's fun. You see how a fun class doesn't really necessarily fit a need that they have. So you want to talk about what is it that they're going to get and then why it matters to them, right? If they want to boost their energy because your kids have been driving you crazy all day long, or your kids, haven't given you a moment's breath and you just need 1 hour a week to just like let loose, right? Why? Talk about the why. They won't care about your class, when your class is, how much your class is, how long. They won't care about the what about your class and the details about your class if they don't care about why they should take your class. So anytime you're posting to somebody new, or anytime you're talking to somebody new, forget about the details of your class, focus on the why. Why they should relax, why they should have cardio, why they need to get strong, how is this going to help them have a better life. Yes? If it's strength training, looking to confidence, if a confidence boost, right? You're not just building strength or building muscle, you're building your confidence, things like that. So step number 2, so once you get attention, you make a reel, you get views, you put on this post, right? And people are liking the post and commenting on the post, and you get like views, like yay! That's getting attention from new people. We're not asking them to to click, to join. We're not overwhelming them. We just need them to get a step closer to us. Then it's step 2. How do we get them to go from attention to show some interest? Okay. So up until this point, you know how to stand out. You're rocking your first impression. You're keeping your name simple, your profile simple. You're not hiding or being spammy. You're posting like a pro on your profile with open settings. You're posting on a schedule like a professional. And you're using the 50-50 rule to make sure that you're not spammy. You're balancing out your content. You're doing step 1, which is creating posts to get attention, right? Not to get registrations, just to get attention of new divas, right? Not students, not everyone, not anyone, but actually new people who've never met you and who are your divas. So how do you turn, now that you have attention, how do you turn that into interest? Now, the expectation, again, is that you're going to make this unicorn post. It's going to get everybody's attention and the reels and the views and 1,000 views, and then they're going to just click on your link and you're going to become rich and your classes are going to be so packed. And that doesn't happen, okay? The expectation, the reality is that not many people click the link. Why? Why don't people click the link? Why don't people join your classes? Why don't people register when you're giving it to them right there on a silver platter and they're just not clicking? It just takes this much, right? Why are they not registering? There's actually 6 reasons why, okay? Number 1, they haven't established a connection with you yet, okay? You're too new to them. Imagine if we just met, like you came in knocking at my door for whatever reason, and I open up the door and I'm like, oh, hi, Nicola, can I have $5? Nicola's gonna be like, well, I mean, what? I just met you. Why would I have $5. I don't want to give you $5. Like, what are they for? It's like, no, we just met, okay? So you caught their attention, yay, but they haven't created a connection with you yet. So that means there's kind of work to be done because promoting is a process. So they need to go through the process. They did step 1 of the process. Another reason why they're not clicking and they're not registering is because they have questions. They have questions about the schedule or the logistics or, whether they can do this or not do this. They have all these questions. And your post doesn't answer their questions because they have very specific questions to their very specific lives, right? And you can't answer their questions through just a post or a link. So then they end up saying later or no because they have questions. Another is logistics. They don't know if they'll be able to make it. Maybe they don't know that you have an online version and an in-person version, or that you have a program where they don't have to worry about the weekly thing. Like they don't know all of this and they're having trouble with logistics, but you can't help them because the post isn't enough, right? And maybe they have internal struggles. So there's this thing like they don't know which class to take. They don't know if they should be able to take the class. They don't know if it's safe to take a class. Like they have all of these inner questions and you can't help them move through those questions through a post or a link, so then they end up not enrolling, okay? So this is why getting attention is not enough. Now we need to turn that attention into interest. So how do we do that? Now, some people on your Facebook and when you post are going to be watchers. Great. We have performers, okay? We enjoy an audience, so let them watch. It's fine. But what we want to do is we want to create curiosity, okay? And get them to be curious enough to take the next step. Now, the next step is not to register for your class because that's too hard, okay? They just met you. It's just like, asking somebody to marry you on their first date. Like, it's like, whoa, my husband, I love him to death. But if he would have said, marry me on my first date, I probably would have said no, okay? Even though he's the love of my life. Like, we need time, okay? We need to build those relationships. So once you make a post and you create attention, you want to create curiosity to help them make the next step. The next step is not to get them to enroll. The next step is not to get them to click on a link. The next step, we want the next step to be easy. People like easy. So you need to make it easy and simple for them to take the next step, not to register. Register is not the next step. Registering is the last step, okay? The next easy, simple step is for them to comment on that post, okay? Simple. It's simple, it's easy. They don't need to click a link. They don't need to go outside of Facebook. They don't need to pay money. They don't need to spend time, right? All they need to do is comment quickly on the post that they're already reading, okay? That's the next step. So how do we do that? When you make your reel or your post, right, you're creating the description, you talk about the what and the why, we also want to involve the how. How can they get more information on this thing that you're creating curiosity, right? You're like, this is why you need to take yoga. This is why you need to unwind. This is why you need to lose weight. This is why you need to get strong. This is why, like all of these things, right? Why it's so important to have confidence. So you talk about the why based on your diva, but then they're like, okay, I get it. Zumba. Okay, I think I need a Zumba class to like really let loose. How do I go to your Zumba class, right? So now you get them interested by creating it's called a call to action at the end of your post, CTA for short. And a call to action is just what that means, right? You want them to take action, the next action. And the next action is commonly going to be a comment. So you can say something like, comment, unwind for more info. So if this was like a yoga post, right, you can say comment, unwind for more info. If you did like a cardio dance type format, you can say fun for a free class. Okay, some fun. All they have to do is say fun, easy, simple, a comment. That's just the next step. You're not asking them for time. You're not asking them for money. You're just asking them to type a comment. Simple task, right? Or my favorite, and you've probably seen this one in lots of my posts, and I say type info for, more info. I'll give you more info on whatever the post was about, right? So that's called a call to action. And if your post created attention and it was successful creating attention, then and you can know if it's successful by looking at the views, right? So if your post or your reel got views, congratulations. You know how to get attention. If it didn't get views or got very little views, we need to work on how to get attention more efficiently. But once you get attention, the next thing is to get them to engage. And you want them to engage by self-identifying and saying, yes, I'm interested in this thing that you talked about, right? And they need to self-identify. So once you do that, and the reason that they're doing that, and this is very important, is because they don't have the information. So you need to have something that they want in order for them to ask for that info, right? Or in order for them to engage, right? For example, I'm giving out a $50 gift card to the person the instructor who engages the most. Is a $50 gift card something that you want? Yes. Do I have it? Yes. Do you have it? No. Do you need to do something to get it? Yes. You need to engage, right? I have something that you want, so then that's motivating you to engage. Same thing with all of, in a tiny version, all of these different things. If you have a class that's making people unwind and find peace and find their zen and, exhale and be able to go on with the struggles of life going forward, and they're like, oh man, she really gets me. When is your yoga class? You you have information that they want, right? You didn't give out your prices. You didn't give out your schedule. You didn't give out, a promotion. You have, so if they want it, they have to engage in order to get the information that you withheld. Okay, that's why it's so important to withhold information, because otherwise, if you put it out all there, right, in a silver platter, they don't need you. And if they don't need you, they're not going to engage with you because you just gave it to them. And what's happening is that now they're making their own choices, and they probably need some help with those choices because they have questions. And you have just deliberately given out all the information, so now they don't feel compelled to ask you about anything, right? So engagement becomes that much difficult. So withhold information in your post so that if they're interested, they need to ask for the information, and now you're able to give it to them. Yes? So this is how you turn attention into interest, by withholding information and then asking who would like information. And then they're like, me. And now you have interested people to talk about. Yes? For the instructors who enroll in the instructors who are taking my Fitness Boss mentoring program, they are really good at this. Okay, they get good at creating posts that create attention, and not just views, but like the right views. They start attracting the type of people that are more likely to spend $200 on their online programs or to spend $10 on a drop-in for their classes. They start to attract not random people, but the right people. And not only that, but the right people, they're the ones who are going, can I have more information? Can you tell me more about your $200 program, right? Can you tell me more about your class? And it's so much easier to talk about your classes when people want to know more about your classes. Make sense? We're in step 3. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, the step that I decided not to do is, the different ways to grow your classes without social media. So maybe I'll do that as a bonus, maybe on Saturday. I don't know. I'll figure that out, but we're going pretty long today. So step number 3. So by now, you know how to stand out by rocking your first impression, keeping your profile, your name simple, and not hiding, not being spammy, by posting like a pro on your profile, on a schedule like a pro, on a 50-50 ratio, so there's balance. You do step number 1, which is create posts or create attention, right? If you want new people, you need to get the attention of new divas, not just anyone, but your divas. And then step number 2, once you have attention, you want to convert that attention into interest by including a CTA at the end of your post so that they want information. While you withhold the information and then you give a CTA to see who wants that information. So now people are raising their hand and they're saying, I want information on this class or on this thing or on this program. How do you turn interest into a student, right? Or into a registration, or into a client to your personal training book, or into a client into your online program, those of you who are doing Fitness Boss, right? So what happens at this point is that they know more about you than you know about them, right? Because you made a post, so now they are seeing your story, right? Or whatever it is that you post. They saw your face. If they wanted more information about you, they probably checked you out. They went to your profile. They saw whatever you have in your profile, a 50-50 ratio of like your personal life and your fitness life, right? And so now they know where you live, like, or what state, or like they know a little bit more about you. You, however, don't know very much about them, right? You don't know that much about them. So then they might have some questions about enrolling. So they might be curious and interested, but they might be scared. Maybe they've never tried this format before. Have you ever gotten students or prospective students is like, yeah, I've never been to, like, there's this class, I don't remember what it's called, bungee maybe, that you get on like these harnesses and like you fly, right? People are scared to do that one, right? So maybe they've never done that, or they have a back injury and they're not sure if they should do that. So maybe they're scared, and so they like what you do, they like what you say, they like your content, they like who you are, they vibe with you, but I've never done a Zumba class. I'm kind of scared of like making a fool out of myself, right? So you can't help them. You can't help them solve that through a post. Or they're a little nervous, right? They might be feeling self-conscious, or they have 2 left feet, and you need to give them the whole speech of like, it's okay if you don't have left, but you can't do that in a post, because the goal of that post was just to get attention. What we're doing right now to convert that interest is we need to go through these issues with the person individually. right? Now, you don't know what these issues are. You don't know if she's scared or she's nervous or if she's injured or if she has a diagnosis and doesn't know if like this is going to be the right thing for her, or she has high blood pressure or low, like you don't know anything about them, which is why we need to get to know them. So your post, so your post doesn't have the link. It won't have all this information, and everyone is different. So everybody's going to have different things of why they're not joining your class. We can't solve that with the post because everyone is different, right? Even if you are doing it to your divas and your stay-at-home moms, each stay-at-home mom has a different struggle, internal struggle, okay? So your post cannot ever possibly satisfy that issue. They need a human, okay, to talk to, and not just any human. They need you, okay? They need to talk to you about these issues, which is why now you need to reach out on a one-to-one basis on a PM. This is another thing that fitness instructors shy away from, okay? And that is reaching out in PM. This can be a PM or a text or a WhatsApp. But basically, you want to reach out on a one-to-one level. Your posts are something that is one-to-many, right? You hear it and get attention, you get attention from people, you get 1,000 views on your reel. Out of the 1,000 views, 10 people were interested, great. Out of these 10 people, you move them into a conversation one-on-one. And out of those 10 people, you have 5 conversations, 2 of them are totally into it and register for your classes, okay? So that's kind of like, it's called a funnel. That's how the funnel works. So what do you do in the conversation, so in Messenger? So once you have a CTA and you have people raising their hands and they start commenting, the first thing that you need to do is like the comment, okay? This creates acknowledgement that you saw the comment and you're like, see, okay, so it's just like you acknowledging their comment. So like the comment. After you like the comment on the comment. And what you're going to comment on the comment is going to say, I'll send you a message. Simple. I've probably done this to you at some point. This is how I do this all the time, okay? The reason I do this, the reason the fitness bosses that I train do this, the reason that Autumn and Jackie and all them grew their classes is because they were doing this. And the reason that this works is because A, you're stoking the algorithm, okay? Anytime your post gets an engagement, it's communicating to Facebook that this is a valuable post. So then Facebook is incentivized to show this to more people. So by you liking a comment and by you commenting on the comment and by you commenting on the comment, right? It's allowing Facebook to show your post to more people. So you get more reach versus you putting the link in the post and now everybody goes to the link and goes away from Facebook. So Facebook says, oh, people don't really like this post. So now it's reducing the number of people that can view this post because this post isn't generating any engagement, okay? Or you using the link in the comments where it stokes the algorithm a little bit, but then you're taking the people away from Facebook and everybody else can see the link. So now they're clicking on the link on that comment instead of reaching out to you. And the whole point is that you want them to reach out to you. You want to reach out to them so that we can uncover what are some of the holdups that they have for not joining your class, right? Do not believe them when they say, yes, I want to join their class. That's a good, it's like, okay, we're on the right path, but don't believe like they're going to enroll, okay? No, you don't celebrate until you see them in class, okay? Same thing with my fitness bosses. We're like, yeah, somebody said they're going to enroll to my program. We don't celebrate until there's money in the bank. We have a whole chat. We literally, that's like when I said money in the bank, now we can celebrate. And I was like, oh, money win. But up until that, even if you went through the whole thing and they said yes to their $200 program, right? But they haven't done the registration, they haven't delivered the money. It's a hopeful yes, but we can't celebrate, okay? Same thing with growing your classes. If they got attention, they liked, you're messaging them, right? And they say they wanted to enroll, they just want to know the price, don't believe them yet, okay? So you want to create that connection. So we're going to take that to Messenger. And in Messenger, and now we can resolve those individual things. So the magic is in Messenger. That's where you get new students, okay? That's where the magic happens. So when you're doing the whole Messenger thing, make sure, number one, that you're friend requesting these people, okay? Friend requesting is not spammy, especially if they were the ones who they said, I want more information on this yoga class or Zumba class or club or size class, right? They raised their hand, so they want more information. So you friend requesting them is not being spammy. They wanted this information, number one. Number two, if they're not part of your friends list, Facebook will sometimes hide your messages in a different folder on Messenger. So they literally haven't seen your message. They can't see your message. That's why I'm big with friend request me or me sending you friend request. Or if you wanted, access to this free challenge and I send you a message and we're not friends and then I'll say in the message, I need you to friend me a message on Facebook because you're not seeing my message. So then you're not being able to register because I sent all of my links through Messenger, right? So very important that as you're going through this process, those people who said yes, friend request them, okay? And then you're going to send the first message. And this is what the first message is going to be. Pen and paper. Remember, there's a replay. You can also go back. And it's going to be, hi, name. In the group or marketplace or wherever it is that you saw that you guys met, you mentioned that you wanted more information on the format that you teach. Class. So what questions do you have? That's it. So it's going to be hey, Cha-Cha Cindy, in the Stage Facebook group, you mentioned that you wanted more information on the yoga class. So what questions do you have? So a couple of things about that message. Number one, use their name. Okay, we're trying to create a connection. So we don't want, hey girl, hey, especially if it's the first time that you're ever reaching out to them, right? We want to create that personal connection. The same way that when you're in class with your student and somebody is new in your class, you're like, hey, welcome to Zumba. What's your name? Oh, hi, Sandy. We do this in person, so we're going to do this online, okay? We don't skip it just because it's online. So make sure that you include their name in the message. Make sure you include where you saw each other, okay? Facebook is big and fast and moves really quickly. So they might have said yes, or info or whatever your magic word was, and then a day passed or 2 days passed or lots of that stuff. So they might not remember where you're from. So tell them, hey, in the Facebook group, in I don't know, mom's from Denton. I'm in Denton, right? You said that you wanted more information about this yoga class. So make sure that you mention where it was that this happened. Also, this helps them understand that you're not some weird rando, right? And it's where have we met? You're telling them where they met, okay? So that way it allows them to just lower their defenses and go oh yeah, I requested this. That's right. She was going to get back to me. Okay. So usernames, mention where. Reference the class, right? So if the post was about yoga and you mentioned yoga, or the class was about, Pilates, or if the class, mention that because that's the topic of the post and that's the topic of the conversation. So we want to make sure that we always have a goal. That's the goal. You want to reference the what, right? So if the post was about unwinding, or the post was about, letting that stress out, or if the post was, whatever the post was about, reference it in the message. And that's pretty much it. So this helps them remember the post so that you have a conversation. Do not ever make your first post a link for them to register or a link with all the information about your classes. No. Okay, no. The point of reaching out in Messenger is to create a conversation. Even if it's a small conversation and hey, what was your question? You're oh, I just wanted to know when it was. Oh, okay, cool. Yoga classes are Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. Even if it's a short conversation, have a conversation. Do not make your first message be a link to all of your things because that is very spammy, even when they requested the information, because you're not saying, I'm running out of battery. You're not saying hi. You're not being a human, right? You're walking down the street and you're I teach Zumbas Tuesdays at 9:45, and then you're leaving. That would be weird, okay, in person. No, if you meet me in person, I'm going to be, hi, how are you? What's your name? No way. Do you live around here? Oh, okay. I'll do some small talk. And it's hey, by the way, are you part of a gym? Do you work out? No. Oh, because I'm a Zumba instructor. I teach over here at LA Fitness, and we'll start a conversation like a normal person. Do not be a not normal person online. So we want to mimic that, okay? So the first message should always be something that's very approachable, that has their name, that says hi, and basically just asks an open-ended question, okay? After that, as they say, well, how much is it? Well, when is it? And then you can just answer their questions. Or they might say, well, actually, I have a bad knee, so I'm not sure if this bungee thing is going to be appropriate for me. Oh, well, or I just, I'm pregnant, so I don't know if yoga is them. Oh, well, and now you can answer their individual questions, okay? Pro tip, if you want to get really good at the conversations, which the magic of creating interest into students is in the conversation. The magic also for fitness bosses, right? They learn this in the first 30 days of enrolling in the program, right? They make the goal is to make $500 the first 30 days without posting, right? They learn the skill of this conversation. They get a $200 client at the end of this conversation instead of like a $20 drop-in for a class. So this is it's a money-making skill to have. So pro tip, if you want to get better at this skill, give them information in small bites. Okay, if they're like, oh yeah, I want to know more about your classes. And you're like, oh my God, my classes are awesome. Monday, Wednesday, Tuesdays, Wednesday, it's yoga, and then Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, and we do a Zumba, and then we have the morning classes and the evening classes, and your first class can be free, but then we have a BOGO, and right now I have a special promotion for all the weekends that's free, and it's so great, and you make so much money, and everybody's included, blah, blah, blah. I call this rainbow vomit. And for you, it's rainbow. You love talking about your classes. For them, it's way too much information, okay? It's overwhelming. So if they ask about your classes and they do something open-ended like that, where it's like, can you just give me more info? You ask the questions. Sure. What type of class are you looking for, right? Do you want something stretchy like a yoga? Are you looking for something cardio? Are you looking for strength? Or if they were asking specifically about the yoga, right? If we know what format they're into, okay, were you looking for something online or something in person? Like, what are you looking? Oh, in person. Okay. Yeah. Well, my next yoga class is actually Wednesday at 9 a.m. Are you available Wednesday at 9 a.m.? No. Okay. Well, I also have a Saturday, but you give them the information in small little doses. So they make micro decisions. I'm looking for something online. Oh, okay, online. And are you familiar with this or in person? Okay. Micro decisions. And the more micro decisions you walk them through, the higher likelier they are to say yes at the end of it. Okay? Because you're creating that connection. You're building a relationship versus this very cold, here's my link, hope you come, bye. No, like that doesn't inspire, that doesn't motivate them, right? But you asking questions, you taking care of them, you being mindful about their situation, you really trying to find the right fit for them, that shows through, okay? But in order for that to happen, you need to ask questions. So pro tip, ask tiny little questions. Okay, it's time to post your homework. So your homework you are to post in the Facebook group, the stage, so not in the comments, not in your profile, in the Facebook group. Okay, so we're going to practice making a post to attract new divas. And to do that, you're going to tell a story, okay? Tell a story of the what and the why. What made you try your format for the very first time? Tell us that story. Was it that a friend told you about it? Was it that you've never tried this before? Did you saw a video? Did you just like what did your mom tell you? Like what made you just kind of be aware of your format and what made you try the class? And then why you fell in love with it, okay? Couple of things. Again, you're not going to post a schedule. You're not going to talk about price. You're not going to put a link. And you're not going to talk about you being a fitness instructor, okay? If you want to attract students, then you need to put yourself in the shoes of the students, okay? So that means that you're going to talk about, what it feels like to go to your format as a student, right? I was nervous the first time that I tried a Zumba class, or I stand in the back row, right? It's not like, and then I became an awesome instructor and now I love teaching classes. If you want to promote your format and help other would-be instructors become instructors, talk about the journey as an instructor, which is not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is to grow our classes and to get more students. So we need to tell the stories, our personal stories, from the student perspective, which means go back in time to when you were a student, or go back in time to when you just tried something for the very first time and try something that was new, right? So tell a story of what made you try your format for the very first time, why you fell in love with it. Do not mention you're a fitness instructor. Do not mention that you teach this, because we just want to convey the why this format, right, and this thing is so awesome. And then include a CTA so that we get attention, and then we convert that attention into interest. And you can say, comment choose a word. So if in the post you mention the word fun or unwind or relax or de-stress or get started, whatever word kind of popped out a lot, use that word, okay? So comment fun for more information. And put a selfie, okay? A selfie of you in full fitness mode, not mom you, not office you, fitness you, yoga you, Zumba you, okay, Pilates you, cycling you, aqua you, like the fitness version of you. And do not put anything in the picture, okay? Not a schedule, not free class, not joining out. It just let us get to know you, okay? That's it for today. I can't wait to see all your homework, all your comments, post, comment so that you have more points to win those prizes. And I'll see you tomorrow. Do not miss it. We're going to talk about, okay, now that you have new people, they made it to class, how do we get them to come back, right? A, and then B, how do we get our older students who maybe were your core group, but then all of a sudden they kind of fell off the face of the earth? And you're like, how do I get them back? Where are they? We're going to talk about how to get them back so that when you grow your classes, you have a steady supply of people that already come to your classes and come back, and then you're getting new people, and these new people are staying, so that's how you grow your classes. Okay, see you in the next one.